As a man of culture, I only appreciate art of the highest quality. Santa Fe has the finest architecture, entertainment, and the finest sculptures. They're fine. Man, who am I kidding? Shawty got a dump truck. Santa Fe is an amazing town that has vibrant art and culture in many forms. So for me, I recommend above all else, you have to go on a church hunt. Now, it's not as morbid as it sounds. What I'm referring to is go out and check the local churches, because for me, this is a perfect way to experience art in the sense of looking at architecture and culture by looking at the history of the buildings. So are you ready for a mouthful? Get your mind out of the gutter. Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi, I definitely did not read it 5 times before trying to do this take, is the perfect place to start, guys. The building is immense, with not just 1, but 2 towers. I said that really patronizingly, but it really is awesome. And it has a very memorable front door. Now, before you go in, I think it's worth just taking a quick look around the area outside, because that for me was very memorable with some sculptures and taking in just the atmosphere around the building. But you have to go inside to really experience the beauty that this cathedral possesses. So the inside of the building, guys. Stained glass, massive arches, extreme attention to detail with the most ornate design and tiniest little illustrations that might escape your view if you're not being very careful. It's simply stunning. It really is. All jokes aside, I really loved it. For me, it was the most memorable church I think I've ever been in, period. So make sure you take some time to explore this in the first hunt. For your first church kill. Remember, this is a metaphor. Now, next on the hunt is the Loreto Chapel, which is pretty close nearby. And keep in mind that there is a small entry fee to get in, but it is definitely worth it to witness the architecturally sound spiral staircase within, guys. Man of culture. Absolutely genius, whoever made it. It's very impressive. But there is more to this church than just the staircase. Make sure to take some time to appreciate the interior and the exterior of the building, because for me they're both very impressive as well. So last on the hunt, I would have to recommend the San Miguel Mission Church. Now this is the oldest church in the United States, so you have to have that experience. And what also is really cool about it is it provides great insight as far as cultural and historical relevance to how people went to church on Sundays 200 years ago. Pretty cool, I know. Now keep in mind that there is a staggering entry fee of $1, guys. So make sure to bring all that cash money so you don't break the bank to enter this beautiful place of worship. Now, if your belly's starting to rumble a little bit, or you just need coffee before you praise the Lord, I don't think that's how you praise the Lord. I think that's the military. Make sure to hit up the Santa Fe Plaza. This is the hub of Santa Fe. I personally had breakfast crepes, some delicious coffee. I later stopped by for lunch and I had some delicious dumplings, all vegan of course.
I also had these scrumptiddlyumptious mole enchiladas.
Around this area, you can find little malls, but not your typical malls. They'll only be local stores, boutiques. You'll see people in the area that have made their own crafts, their own art, and they'll be selling them. You can check that out as well. And if you're there around Christmas or in the beginning of December, everything will be lit up at night. There'll be lots of vendors outside. The atmosphere is beautiful. It's a perfect place to take a step and relax, or keep on going crazy on your trip to Santa Fe. Now, if you want to pursue even more art, which I highly recommend, you must check out Canyon Road in Santa Fe. The whole street, which is pretty long, is filled with street art, sculptures, and galleries galore. Now, if you don't feel like you're highbrow enough to go into an art gallery in a really artistic town, then leave. You don't belong here.
I don't belong here.
You definitely belong here. It's not really my niche personally, but there's so many. They're used to people just coming in and leaving, so don't feel the pressure that when you walk into a small store and you feel guilty about not buying anything because you're a cheapskate. I'm a cheapskate too, guys. Just pick a few that look interesting to you. A lot of them are big and vast, so you won't feel the breath on the back of your neck from the local shop owner. And if it still is not your cup of tea, then just walk around and check out the galleries from the outside or the plenty of sculptures and different exhibits. Personally, I really enjoyed the Tibet area. That art really spoke to me. I thought it was very creative and it was a nice open space along with it. Are you ready for an art break? Me too. Head out to the nearby Cross of the Martyrs. Now this is a nice winding path that goes up a hill, and not only is it scenic, pretty and quiet, but along the path there will be plaques along the way that will inform you of the history of the area, which I thought is always interesting to read, get a bit of context of where you're walking around, and this provides just that. Now once you get to the top, take a minute and really appreciate the impressive cross that is located at the top of the hill, and soak in the views of the surrounding area of Santa Fe, the Sangre de Cristiano, golazo! Mountains nearby. Now, if you want a totally different experience from probably anything you've ever done, I highly recommend checking out Meow Wolf in Santa Fe. And if you've been looking into your trip somewhat extensively, or even a little bit, I'm sure you've heard of it. You might have heard of it even if you just clicked on this video because, hey, YouTube is a void. I get it. Meow Wolf, I already made a video on it, going in more detail because there's so much to say about it, and I really love that place personally. Just to give you a quick brief overview, it is best described as an immersive, interactive art exhibit. Simply put, there's no words for it, but that's the closest we can get. Now, if you're thinking, what the wondrous woman, you're supposed to be the nature guy, and all you've given us to do is look at some art and then just go on a little stroll? Well, yes, I'm a cultured man, didn't I tell you? No, I'm the real. I went to Santa Fe in the middle of winter, so it was a little bit harder to experience all of these things, but don't worry, I got you. I got the recommendations, and your boy has good taste, I promise. So Slot Canyon is a nearby area where you can hike through and around and above some of the most geologically impressive rock formations I've ever seen. The area looks beautiful, looks very impressive. I would have loved to go there if I had the time or the opportunity. Now, if you know me and you know this channel, hot springs are one of the main things to talk about. In Santa Fe, there are a plethora of primitive hot springs, meaning ones you can stumble upon in nature or hike to, not have to pay any money, and just stay in there as long as you want for little to no money. Now, I haven't been to any of them, but I've looked through a webpage with a great article on santafe.com outlining some of the best hot springs that you can adventure to nearby. Now, if this isn't going to be possible due to it being too far away, or maybe you don't have a rental car for some reason, or just a vehicle in general, hit up 10,000 Wave Spa. Again, I didn't go to this, but your boy has good taste. So what this is, it's essentially a Japanese onsen in izakaya, and it's Santa Fe's interpretation of it, and they've brought it to you, which is a very culturally unique experience. So what this is, it's essentially a hot spring slash spa slash bar slash restaurant, which sounds like a very eclectic, hectic combination of things, but I'm sure they do it very well. I've looked at the website. I really was considering going myself. So if you want to get a hot spring experience while you're on vacation here, definitely look into this if you're not down to adventure too far. So that's my take on Santa Fe, guys. I hope I gave you some good insight on things that you can do for all of my highbrow audience out there. I see you. I really recommend going to Santa Fe. It's a great place to experience culture and art, which I normally don't do on my vacations. I'm normally all into hiking and eating, which, hey, how can you not be? Please leave a like if you liked the video. Comment below if these things look appealing or if you've done them yourself. And I will see you guys in the next video. Got some great new travel footage coming soon. Peace.